2, 1. Hello!
Hey! What's going on?
Everybody?
A brand new stage and a brand new Scott stepping into the truck to dunk on a team and then predding for them. That's crazy! Whoa! What a time to be alive.
That's my job!
Yeah.
Inconsistency!
Bias! Let's go! Also, Johnny, your Tracer, no, please. Like, we tried to get you the achievements the other day.
Yeah, that's true. Me and Jaws, we actually duoed in quick play. I'm trying to get all the achievements in Overwatch 1 before Overwatch 2 comes around. It's taking time, and it's not because like the achievements are hard. It's taking time because I'm just not good enough to get the achievements in the first place. Tough.
To be fair, I have stolen a couple of achievements away from you. In your defense, I know, I rarely come to your defense.
Come on, Jack.
Look, I need highlights too, okay?
Johnny,
I need
I'll
some
help
sick
you.
Blades.
Is anyone surprised?
I'll help you. I won't steal your
Nico,
kills.
you want to get me the achievements, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Exactly. I need that. Let's go.
I'm so
Don't worry,
thankful
guys.
Danny
I'll
is
help you guys
Boston.
all out.
Okay. Yeah, Danny could.
Let's do it.
Danny's a good tank. Danny's a good tank player. I've seen him play Ryan. He's pretty.
Danny lifts. I feel like he carry us.
What? Okay. Okay. Scott just. Okay.
What?
We need to leave. You need to hash out your own problems. Scott, I don't know why
we
you're
gotta
just
talk
bagging
it out.
up.
We gotta talk it out.
Bring it on, Scott. We gotta go. Let's go.
Shoot. Get out of here. Houston Outlaws versus the Boston Uprising. Countdown Cup is upon us. Or I guess it's here already. Not necessarily upon us. Brand new meta. Big old patch just dropped. What are they cooking? I don't know, Rose. We'll have to find out in just a moment. Houston Outlaws versus the Boston Uprising. Houston sitting at 4th currently. Boston Uprising sitting all the way down at 10th. And they're both in their own essence like gatekeepers in a way, right? Where Boston wants to not be in the bottom 3 teams where Vancouver Titans, Excelsior, and Eternal sit. But Outlaws wants to maintain that top 4 position as they're just under Gladiators right now.
I mean, it's a tough one for all of these teams. Top 6 is going to guarantee you a spot in the postseason, and then 7th through 10th get a chance to play in the play-ins. And so right now, you know, Boston Uprising very much fighting for their life to be able to stay in that sweet spot to be in the play-in spot. But Houston, I do feel like have a great chance of staying in top 6, especially when we look at the meta and how the patch is going to affect how these teams want to play their game. And I'm expecting some big changes here, Jaws.
Oh, yes. Big changes in the roster, too.
Yeah.
Young Creative stepping in. Lastro, Dante, Merit, and Pelican is the lineup for Houston Outlaws. Remember, Creative got out to the roster fairly recently, came over from the Seoul Dynasty, trading with Iris. So Iris moving back to Korea to play for Seoul, and Creative coming over the pond to play for the Outlaws. It's going to be a good time to be an Outlaws fan. Like I mentioned, they want to stay... well, ideally they want to be 3rd, right? They want to beat out Gladiators so they qualify for the playoffs almost instantly. But they are playing the gatekeepers for London Spitfire and Toronto Defiant, who also want to kind of take their spot. But the Houston Outlaws, you could say this is kind of expected where they're placed at right now. About 4th place, you'd expect them at the Atlanta Reign just be kind of butting heads. Atlanta Reign, unfortunately, sitting at 7th currently. I'm not sure everybody kind of expected that, but they didn't have the best of performances recently. But the Houston Outlaws might be able to springboard off this rose against the Boston Uprising. On paper, looks pretty one-sided, but Boston in a new meta with Mr. 50+% win rate Punk and Crimzo coming back in for the Uprising in a potential Ana meta. I mean, that looks pretty good.
I think this looks great. I mean, the desk already harped on the point that when Punk is in the roster, Boston Uprising does tend to have a better map win percentage. And of course, as we look at a lot of Ana Lucio coming back into the meta, I know Crimzo was absent from this last stage, but it was just because of what the meta was really demanding of that Junker Queen composition. Now, of course, Crimzo gets to come back in, slide in as the Ana.
It feels real good. MCD, of course, in the lineup, Punk, Victoria, and Valentine. And I think it's important to look at kind of what Korean Contenders is currently running. It only gives us a good sample platter of what the meta might look like in Overwatch League. Normally, more often than not, it's not like a 1-for-1, like, oh, we're definitely going to see that in the Overwatch League. There will definitely be some variance there. But the key word there is variance, because teams are playing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it's really sick. After a stage of only playing the Brig, Lucio, Junker Queen, Sojourn / Ash, you know, like that kind of meta, I think variety here is going to be really nice. A lot of teams are running things like Ana or Lucio in the back line. Everybody loves to see that. A lot of dive tanks too, Rose, in Monkey and Doomfist.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're seeing Dante in the starting lineup for the Houston Outlaws. I know there was some talk about maybe Doge gets a chance to slot in, play some of those main tanks, but Dante has been so proficient on the Doomfist, and I think that could really be bolstered by the other hero changes that came through from this patch. I mean, we got a nerf to Brigitte, Junker Queen, Sojourn, just a little bit, and so I know we're not going to see much of the Junker Queen composition, but when it comes to those dive heroes, I mean, Sombra got a buff. We might even get a chance to see some D.Va because she got some huge buffs across the board to her boosters, her micro missers, and her call mech that costs a little bit less to get that back online. And so I can't wait to see what these teams are going to run with because I feel like we're spoiled for choice here, Jack.
Yeah, which is perfect. Like, remember at the very start when every hero was almost being played? Like, we had some of the biggest variants we'd ever seen. And we might just see that here. Maybe not as much variance as earlier on in the season, but anything away from just like the standard 5 heroes you're going into, which is great. Which is what's been really cool about this season, to be fair with you, is the amount of hero usage we've seen across the board. Yeah, we had one stage of Junker Queen with the Lucio and Brig, etc. But now we're onto a brand new patch, which has been rather harsh in the changes. You know, shout out devs. And I hope we do see a little bit D.Va because that's one of Punk's better heroes. Although Sombra being buffed to the hack going from just a single second to 1.75 is pretty gigantic in the grand scheme of things, which is what we'll see Victoria and Pelican run out on. Outlaws, no surprise, running Doomfist, but Punk's still sticking on the Junker Queen.
Wow, okay, so that's really interesting to me because you would expect that with these more dive-centric DPS like the Tracer and the Sombra, you would expect to see something a bit more mobile in terms of maybe the Winston or the Doomfist, like what we're seeing Dante run for Houston. But the Junker Queen, I mean, we just came off of a meta where that was really powerful, and Punk just might have that a little bit more on.
But with Ana on the field, if you do get hacked, you can just like instant-nade the tank and then just hit him real quick with a couple of darts. Oh, Crimzo. I think got turned into roadkill there as Dante cleans up the rest of the Boston Uprising, and Outlaws find the first cap. It's quite scary too. I'm actually looking forward to Ana being played again because Dante getting nanoed as a Doomfist is going to feel like Overwatch 1 Doomfist, where that guy one-shotting you from around the corner where you don't even know where he came from.
That's true. I'm like nervous about that. At least, listen, Boston, don't make the same mistake twice. You don't want to go play by the Mega by the cars. You will get flattened again. Or you might just not make it. So yeah, we have to see a quick reset here from Boston. At least it was Valentine on the Tracer. You can definitely come back really quickly. But this is all about posturing for position here, Jack. We're looking at, you know, how do Houston want to take this space around City Center. You can see Pelican even waiting in the wings for Boston to move through, hoping to get some more offensive charge to build up to that EMP even faster.
There's a hack onto Crimzo. Doesn't result in anything. That's how Valentine went down a little bit ago, was Pelican and Lastro getting the manual hack and then just jumping on it. Speaking of other hacks, Dante ends up going down. Nice lamp from Crimzo, saving Boston Uprising from Merit's pole spot. Without a tank, Houston Outlaws, they're going to have to contest. Nano Boost comes out, it's on Merit, he dashes straight to the backline, but MCD is there with a whole ton of heals from Crimzo. Can't even really earn himself a pulse bomb here off the damage. The beat is going to push them forward though, as Merit's still trying to take down MCD. He eventually falls without using the Transcendence, as Dante re-engages into the fight from spawn. And now he's in the backline of the Boston Uprising, picking up those health packs to stay healthy. Boston just unable to use the Transcendence, keeping them in the fight. And now it's last fight territory.
Well, at least they have it. I mean, they have it now. They've got an EMP. The Transcendence is going to be such a nice way to sustain through Houston's, because they're going to go in with it now.
So nice. Transcendence, though, with the back for MCD is pretty good. A return EMP from Victoria does result in Lastro's death. They used the beat in the last fight, so don't have that as a backup. Dante still in, used all his cooldowns to try and assassinate MCD, who's holding on for dear life. One little chunk of health remaining. Boston Uprising keeping themselves in, and they do end up finding the flip. That EMP from Pelican was good, but MCD's Transcendence a little bit better.
That's why I think it's great that Boston was able to hold on to that. I mean, if MCD had panic popped the Transcendence, you wouldn't have had it for that last fight, and Boston would have not gotten this flip. They are still in a precarious position where they have to make sure that they can rotate off of Valentine's Pulse Bomb, but at least Dante's already low. Dante's already down.
Yeah. It's almost like, especially not seeing a hero for a long time, like a Sombra, for example, you see Dante kind of like going for the seismic slam on top of the high ground, and then it's like, oh, they have a Sombra.
Right.
And then the hack is way longer than it has been. It increased by 75% from 1 second to 1.75. Like, yeah, he just got insta-pop. All right. Boston, they've got a pulse, and they also have a rampage, finally. Houston Outlaws almost managed to find the flip there as Valentine forces the recall onto Pelican. Dante now trying to get to the high ground and now is completely alone. An easy stick for Valentine and an easy kill to add to the stats. The rampage comes out, hits 2 on the Outlaws, but Punk is cleaned up by Lastro even though he was antied. Boston Uprising do still control that point as Valentine is holding down the doors, stopping the Houston Outlaws really escaping. You can see they're on the wrong side of the map. You're going to need a little bit of help. Boston Uprising, this might be a good chance for them to round about them. As you can see, the spawn is right there.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, MCD is going to take the high ground here. Punk actually going to be coming back on the D.Va, so getting back very quickly.
Oh, Merit forced to recall pretty early on. He's got that pulse bomb. Yeah, Punk on the D.Va. Oh, Nano on Dante. What a sad sight. No cooldowns available. Didn't really get much damage done at all. In fact, none, pretty much. Pulse bomb gets thrown out. Howdy, hit those. Woo! Okay, Merit. Double kill for the Tracer. Houston Outlaws DPS line kind of going a bit crazy. Boston Uprising just swept under the rug. Outlaws take round 1.
No, but like, what was that stick? What? That was like, you shoot a 3-pointer with your eyes closed, and it goes in. Like, that's an iconic moment. Like, oh my god, that's absolutely bonkers. Is that got
Merit
2
head
people
into the
too?
Olympics with that shot put.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, man. Oh, do we get a replay of this? We get a replay. Look at this. Merit just... Oh!
Oh, that's
sleep
unlucky.
too?
I think the immortality field there just expired. Like, it might have been like a couple of frame perfect speedrun trick there. That was
Like, that was unexpected, for sure. I mean, Boston, there's not much you can really do about Merit getting a double when you weren't expecting that to actually go through anyway. It was still 93% to 100, and this has been a close fight so far. Boston's going to be going back to the Junker Queen. I don't think it was particularly successful in the first map. I mean, Houston won like 4 fights in a row, and the flip came off the back of the MCD Transcendence.
Nice hack. Oh,
I just think
better lamp
Punk's getting bullied.
Another rehack. Look at Pelican just basically AFK shooting the back of the Boston Uprising right now. Yeah, Junker Queen got quite a big nerf to her commanding shout. The bonus health given by commanding shout has been reduced from 100 to 50. It doesn't decay over its duration, it's just a static 50 HP, but it only lasts for 3 seconds rather than 5. So that's quite a sizable nerf, but Punk's still willing to, and the Boston Uprising still willing to play that pick. Also, the cooldown got increased from 11 to 15, so yeah, a large nerf.
Well,
But in these small corridors and these small spaces, Junker Queen's still pretty damn effective with that shotgun and axe.
I mean, it's still good, and I was going to say that some of that healing deficit can be made up by the buff that Matisse got, right? You know, you had the biotic launcher, the primary fire damage was actually increased, the fall off, and so I know that, like, hey, maybe you can make up a little bit for that when your shots hit true.
What a stick. Dante survives it, though. Somehow, some way. Nano boost, straight to the back. Lamb needs to be taken care of, but MCD is pretty low. Lamb gets punched. It does go down, but the Boston Uprising, in that nano time, was able to dispatch with the rest of the Outlaws there. That was quite a fast fight. It looked like Creative and Dante thought they could just quickly turn that, even though they had 1 man down, but not to be, not to be.
No, you gotta make sure that you just don't use too much more, though, and that's okay. I think the EMPs being online and MCD not having the Transcendence yet is a little dicey. Pelican's going to need some time to get into position, so yeah, the Transcendence should come through. But this is playing out like we saw last time, but this time around, Boston has bought themselves a lot more time. So if they can get this Transcendence to negate Pelican's EMP, then they might be in good shape to take this round. They just have to survive the EMP that's coming through. And I don't know if they're going to get a...
Transcendence comes out. Oh, that's a good force, to be fair. But the Houston Outlaws do let go of that beat. only hits Creative and Lastro, so Merit and Dante are now just left out to dry. A nice hack from Victoria. And Houston Outlaws fumbling their support ultimates just a little bit. They do end up saving their EMP, so now they don't have to worry about the Transcendence, I suppose. But that Lastro beat potentially was supposed to hit Merit and Dante too, just didn't end up working out.
No, that was really rough positioning to have that not work. But Lastro's actually going to switch it up here, too. Yeah, so no more Lucio. Going to go for the Zenyatta. I like that Transcendence is just kind of, I think, a better ultimate in this situation versus the Sombra, because it allows you to just get so much heal to come through. But especially when you want to try to get the damage in, too.
CMP, oh, the nade follow-up too from Creative. Both support lines now down, damage pretty permanent at this point. Dante super low, another nice sticks from Valentine. He's got Dante's number and he's not calling him back. Boston Uprising still control this point, Flows. It's 90% on board, so Valentine just needs to be able to hold it down, maybe forcing it to 95. He's going to go back in, he's got the orb. Can the Boston Uprising get back in time? It's a race from the spawns. Houston Outlaws are going to be able to get back just in time, but no, look at Valentine just permanently on this point, just forcing it into OT. Outlaws eventually get the flip, but fantastic stall there from Uprising.
That was great, and now that they've bought themselves that time too, they can just wait for Valentine to come back online. Victoria has almost another EMP. Like, what was Pelican doing to get outpaced like that? You know, Pelican spent a lot of time having to deal with Valentine, and so it's not his fault that Victoria has just been able to go into the backline and just farm off of Houston. And so that EMP is online. We've got Rampage too. These are heavy hitting, team fight winning ults that could get Boston Uprising the win. They just have to use them correctly. And it's all about making sure that Houston are funneled into the point where Punk can go hit it.
There's the nano onto Dante. Victoria setting up with an EMP in the back. Instantly killed is Creative. You take extra damage when you are hacked, remember. Worth keeping in mind. Dante uses his ult to try and just squish Punk, but wasn't to be as Punk used his own ultimate to get out of there ASAP. Now the Outlaws are in overtime. They end up wiping their Boston Uprising. It is Victoria on the point. Has to hit the recall. Using that Transicator. Can't get back. Outlaws go one map up.
Well, I don't think that's the outcome that Boston wanted with the ult economy that they had. But Houston just played that really well. I think that, you know, while they had to kind of trade out the front line, it sort of worked out. I mean, there's really has been a battle of like Lastro and Creative versus like MCD Crimzo and then like the DPS and diving after them. I don't know. It's going to be wild, but I love what we're seeing so far.
Variety is the spice of life. That's what I'm talking about. More variance is a good thing. Houston Outlaws with one map up. Maybe we'll see some substitutions. We'll have to find out. We're going to the next map just after this. Hey, welcome back. Map number 2. Houston Outlaws and the Boston Uprising kicking off the Countdown Cup. Now, Houston Outlaws do take the first map 2-0, but Boston made it pretty damn competitive, especially on that last round. They got it to 99, just didn't quite step over the mark. Boston not making any substitutions here. Pretty happy with the lineup they're going with so far. However, the Houston Outlaws having Dante step back for a brief moment to put in Doge.
Yeah, look at that. We've got Doge back in. I mean, Doge made an appearance during the last stage, but ultimately took a back seat to Dante's Junker Queen. But, you know, Doge is known for main tanks. So Reinhardt, Winston, Orisa, and, you know, subbing into the lineup for this map, I'm expecting to see some Winston play here.
We are going to Eichenwalde, so maybe a little Winston, a bit of Reinhardt.
Maybe
Not
both.
sure,
maybe
but,
both.
Maybe both. Does seem like more of a main tank map. You can play the Doomfist. Pretty sick. You get some cool punches up onto the high ground, but a little bit more effective is the Winston, the Reinhardt. So I have to wait and see what they want to run, of course.
Yeah.
Boston, though, they still look pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, they need to be consistent now, Rose. They are currently in 10th place. Not great. Let's be real. 10th place, not fantastic. But if they are consistent from here on out, they might still be in with a chance of making the play-ins. You don't want to be in that bottom 3 spot, in which they are bottom 4. So, although they do have a decent win lead and a point lead over the Vancouver Titans did end up going to a LAN, so they get an extra league point there. A lot of maths behind the scene, but still, keep in mind, Boston Uprising, they've got to be consistent, at least go even this stage. In order to make it to the play-ins, then hopefully, eventually, the play-offs. But that's for the future. Right now, we're going to map number 2. And we are seeing on defense, once again, Boston Uprising sticking with the Punker Queen.
Looks like they really want to make this work. I have some questions about whether this is the right thing to run in this meta, just because you're using very mobile DPS, and if you're expecting that Houston is going to be running the Doomfist, you know, just knowing how much history and game experience Dante has had with this roster in this season so far playing that hero, probably expecting something pretty fast-paced. I just feel like the Junker Queen, despite it having these more rush styles and trends of play where you can just kind of rush at your opponent, I just don't know if it's able to keep up with the mobility that is offered from, you know, Pelican and Merit just kind of going after your backline. But look at this. Houston peeked their heads out. They had the Winston ready to go, but they're going to go ahead and switch Doge over to the Diva. I love that you have the defense matrix available to you now as well, just to be able to make sure that you're keeping your backline safe. Last Run Creative don't have nearly the same mobility, but oh, you gotta watch out for Victoria in the back.
Jeez. You see how much damage Doge is taking right now? Health bar falling faster than the coin right there.
Yep.
Lastro almost ends up going down to Boston Uprising with the amount of frontward pressure is a little bit ridiculous. You do have a Zenyatta worth pointing out. So the Discord Orb does kind of wreck the mech. In fact, wrecking the mech is exactly what Boston Uprising did. They do demech Doge. However, they did lose Victoria. So not the most even trade in the world, as you do get the mech a little bit quicker back now. So Houston Outlaws still have an advantage pushing on forward, but they don't have a body to kind of stand in the way of it.
No, they do have to wait for Doge to get back into the mech, though. He's just not doing enough damage to be able to get that mech online quickly enough to take advantage of the man that they had down. But yeah, I mean, if you just do it again, then there you go. Doge is back in mech and ready to rumble.
Good post one to even the playing field. In fact, Valentine just taking out both supports. That is absurd. Okay, Boston Uprising with a nice little defense to start them off. Houston Outlaws didn't really know where Valentine came from by the looks of it, as they continue to hold with 2 minutes to go. Valentine, yo, hit him with the bag, son. Looking great so far.
That's ridiculous. I mean, Pelican's not doing such a, a bad job in the back line too. Like, Pelican and Victoria, they're on pace right now for those EMPs, but it's incredibly impressive that Valentine right now has just been able to put in so much work into Houston Outlaws' backline. I mean, you aren't running the Lucio, you don't have the same mobility, so Last Run Creative, they're very, very vulnerable in the back. You can even see that Doge is having to play this very difficult game in this one tank meta where you got to peel, but you also have to kind of lead the charge. It's a difficult responsibility to straddle.
All right, nano boost. Valentine somehow has another pulse. Yeah, he do be farming those pretty quick. Window, Demex Doge, she was nanoed, by the way. So yeah, that didn't last all too long. Houston Outlaws still gain a tick. They're sitting on an EMP and a Transcendent still, but the Uprising also have the same. Big EMP hits 4, Doge instantly kill. The hack does end up wearing off, and Lastro pops that Transcendence, but the Boston Uprising is still sitting on an ult of their own. A lamp to save Punker Queen as Victoria and Punker healed up by MCD's Transcendence, as the Houston Outlaws struggling to get anything done. There's 50 seconds to go, and they've only got 2 ticks.
Yeah, Boston even kind of just donated those. They just donated those. They didn't have to give them that space, but it was the right thing to do. And now Boston too, when they've got the Rampage set up, I mean, Punk has hit some big ones, and I know that Junker Queen isn't in the same power that she used to be, but it's still gonna hit hard. It's not going to feel very good when you don't really have a way to also get rid of it either. Pelican was also playing Genji?
Dude,
he's down.
Valentine is pounding right now. Can we just get Perma Valentine POV, please? There's the Rampage. But okay, this is over. Outlaws in the bin with you.
10 seconds.
Straight back to spawn. First held on Eichenwalde. They got 90% or so, but the Boston Uprising looking clean. Valentine just deadlifting right now. I'll have to double check on the stats if he is deadlifting, but it looks like it currently. Deadlifting maybe bigger than Danny is right now, which is quite a
That's
mean
impressive.
feat.
That's impressive. Yeah. But yeah, that had to have been. We'll get an update for you all shortly on whether or not that was actually a deadlift. But yeah, I mean, what is Boston can take their time here, really. The full hold is impressive. And now they just need 90%.
Okay, well, here's a funny stat. Here's a funny one for you stat heads out there. Yeah, so Outlaws only got 3 kills last round. Not great, I would say.
Oh.
Boston Uprising with 11, so that's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah, Valentine's nowhere near deadlifting. It just kind of looked like he was. He's got 5 final blows. Victoria has 4.
Okay.
Supports have got 1 between, and Punk's got 1. But
what would you call an eye deadlift?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Like no, but like what would you call that? Like,
not a deadlift, but it's close, and he's very talented and handsome. That's the
okay. You're right. I mean, the replay says it all, doesn't it? Right into the back line. Poor Lastro and Creative just like really didn't stand a chance there. I just feel like Valentine's feeling himself right now. Victoria too. I mean, man, what are they gonna give it to us? No.
Messed up the grapple there. Unlucky. It's okay.
Sad. It's okay. Valentine, you're still handsome. You're a great player. You got this. Widow.
Look at the defense from the Houston Outlaws, Rose. Look at this. Lastro running the brick, and Merit's back on Ye Olde Faithful in Sojourn. And we have Doge on the Winston, so a completely different look from the Houston Outlaws. Pelican has been hacked. Nice bubble from Doge, actually saving Pelican's life, but you can see the Outlaws' health bars do be dwindling. Boston Uprising used that commanding shout, maybe nerf, but it still saves MCD as he takes down Pelican. Now it's a 5-on-4 with Doge being hacked up. The hack is going to fade away in just a moment, and Lastro and Creative are pumping him with heals, but look at the focus fire from the Boston Uprising right now. Outlaws currently in shambles. There is a tick on the point for Uprising. The Outlaws might have a say in this fight, but they have to get back to the point.
No, I don't think they're going to. I mean, the commanding shout just came through. Maybe MCD goes down here, but...
Lastro is out in the open. Pelican finds 2. Outlaws still in with a chance to save themselves on this point with Doge being back. As long as Creative stays alive, they should be good. Valentine's got a pot. Okay.
Okay, yeah, come on now.
You tried. But, I mean, 2 ticks in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You take those any day of the week. Nice headshot onto Crimzo, as it is a reset for the Boston Uprising. They only need, what, 30% or so, and they should be good.
Well, they're gonna have an MVP, so I think they're gonna be just fine. I really think they're gonna be just fine. Victoria has farmed that so fast, and if he could just get into the back line, use the EMP, there's not a great way for Houston to shut this down right now except to just preemptively kill Victoria. But he's gonna take his sweet time. They've got 2 minutes to work with here, so Boston can take their time setting up for this.
Yeah, no MEMP, please. No meme EMP, please. Oh, there's the window.
That's such a big window.
Scattering at the Outlaws right now. Nano, Blade, EMP comes out. Pelican can't dash and he's taking extra damage. A Transcendence is going to be good enough to stop Pelican getting any value with that Blade. But a lamp has been used from the Uprising, so both defensive abilities there from the backline have been utilized already as the Houston Outlaws march forward with the rally in tow. Punk does end up going down as MCD just gets rolled by his own orbs. Pelican with a nice swift strike double kill with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Maybe we spoke a little bit too soon. The Boston Uprising, they got to contend with Merit's ult. Now Overclock looking pretty deadly.
Wow, especially when you've got the straightaways on the defending side. Yeah, that's not going to be an ultimate Boston Uprising or too happy to walk into. That Wombo combo didn't work the way that you would have expected it to. Ooh. But what Merit can't have used
actually dumpstered. Okay. Discord Orb and a nice little one clip with the melee. Merit's already dead. No Overclock available. Only that Primal Rage versus a Pulse Bomb and the Junker Queen ult. Pulse Bomb goes wide, but I guess it does separate Houston Outlaws just for a brief moment as Doge pops Primal and then proceeds to hide with it because he almost got deleted with that Discord Orb. Punk unleashes his ultimate, only finds Pelican, and Merit comes back with a little bit of damage. Overclock finds one, and with 30 seconds to go, the Uprising need to find a little something extra.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, Punk's got an axe and swinging with it. It doesn't seem to handle itself against the Blade.
Nope. There's the Punk Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Boston Uprising with a clean first point hold against the Outlaws, claim that 90% and tie the series up.
All right. I mean, whew, a full hold? The close map number 1? Jaws, we might have a series on our hands. I mean, last time these two teams met, they did go to 5 maps. So let's buckle up, everybody.
Buckle up. It's going to be a long ride. New meta, new memes. Not quite so many new players. We're seeing Doge. We'll see if we still see him in the next map. We'll have to jump to a quick break, though. We'll be right back. Oh boy. Yeah. So a vanity deadlift. I think we were going to call that one. Rose,
yeah.
right?
Hey, I got to give credit to Big Hungry Phil for that one. I like it. We're sticking to it. Not quite the mathematical deadlift, but a deadlift to the eyes.
He looked good doing it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Those stats of his are absurd. 17 on limbs, 6 final blows. Feeling pretty good. Nice few pulse bomb kills too. Yeah, there was a lot of times where Houston Outlaws were pushing up and Valentine had already killed their support line. Like, yeah, felt pretty bad. No longer are we with the Lucio and the Brig, right, where they're almost unkillable because they just speed away and then Brig have shield and flails, so Tracer can do nothing. Yeah, it's we're back to Tracers maybe being dominant, and I think the Boston Uprising are going to be happy with that if Valentine just keeps up those performances. Outlaws are sticking with Doge, though. Punk looking a little bit too relaxed, maybe, but feeling pretty good after that full hold on Eichenwalde. We are going to Route 66, which is not a new map, but it's a new map in this pool for the Countdown Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, it's returning. What did we take out again? Took out something. Oh.
Okay.
We took out Gibraltar.
Okay, Gibraltar. Okay, shout
Sorry.
out.
Thanks, production.
In our ears, yeah,
I was trying to scroll to my notes, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head. That's why it took so long. I was like, wait a minute.
It's almost you posed me a question, then I got left on the spot, like Mitch left me on that spot that one time on this map. On the, I have this weird memory. Yeah, seriously, I have this weird memory of like, I remember very specific things when I see a map or like jump into a cast, but like when I get off a cast, I'm like, what just happened for the last like hour and a half? I can't really remember, but then I have to, if I look through it, then I can kind of remember everything as soon as I see it. And yeah, that's one of those memories that I remember.
So are you admitting that you're a goldfish with selective memory?
Maybe I am. Maybe that is true.
You're not actually you're not a shark.
No, I'm not a shark at all.
You're a goldfish.
I'm just a small little
blasphemous.
Goldfish.
Absolutely
I've been tricking
blasphemous.
everybody this whole
I feel
time.
lied to.
Yeah, that's why they had to. That's why I've had so many casting partners over the years, because they had to ship them out when they found out. So I was like, you got to change. They already know.
Illuminati are coming. Oh God.
Exactly.
I didn't.
All right,
say
let's have a look
anything.
what Outlaws are running. So Doge is still sticking on this Diva pick, Rose. Again, we spoke about it at the start of the series and like what kind of Korean contenders are currently running. We are seeing a little bit of Diva here and there. Paraíso is where I saw it last, main contenders, and there was a little bit of like Winston, a little bit of Diva, and Houston Outlaws more than willing to put Doge on the Diva, but we saw what happened before. Dude gets hacked, he gets discorded, his mech is just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many buffs that have come through to Diva as a hero that it's very exciting to see her get played, because I think she has a lot more staying power. And like, if you're just able to take out the Sombra, then I feel like you're in good shape. But you're right, if Victoria does get a hack onto you, then it's rough going for the Diva here, especially when you know that that damage is getting backed up by an MCD, Orb of Discord. It can be tough, but I think Houston Outlaws right now are doing a great job of keeping their player advantage and keeping the Sombra in check.
Oh, look at Punk. He tried as he might to get to the back line there. A big positive for the Diva is that you can negate a lot of damage from Doomfist. Diva in general, and even in Overwatch 1, was just so good at countering Doomfist, because when a support gets knocked up in the air, good Diva players, 180 real quick, just bathe the support in the defense matrix so the Doomfist can't get those like regular shots off.
Right.
That's exactly what happened there. Also, Punk, got antied and discorded, and then a hack. Like, it's tough to play Doomfist. You really have to find the perfect opening, which doesn't always come.
That's true, but I feel like in Boston Uprising's case in that first point, they didn't really group up. They didn't go in as a full team of 5, and that did lend itself to just being easily picked off by Houston, following up Doge's lead of going after one player at a time. But Valentine still builds up to a pulse bomb, even faster than Merritt did, and is currently hunting for that target in the back line.
Outlaws are currently spread very far away from each other. Not a bad thing. Creative Lastro can be effective at quite a long range. Stick onto Doge will eject him from the mech. Now he's just in that pilot Diva form. Much harder to push that payload, but the Outlaws have done a good job of like jostling the payload control here. EMP from Victoria. Oh yeah, no way you survived that one, unfortunately. Boston Uprising are now making their stand on a point B.
Oh, no. I was like, no shot. Victoria gets away with that.
You cleanse the damage of the Ana, because the Ana, like, regular shot on an enemy is dot damage, It's like slightly dot damage because it makes the little, like, ticking noises. And when you translocate, you actually get rid of that damage, so you should... It's all good. Oh, run.
Oh, I was like, I don't think it's possible for Victoria to, like, get the kill. But, yeah. That's going to be another reset here for Houston. They have a full slate of 5 ults, though. So let's see what they decide to roll into this one with. I would expect the full spawn first and then Pelican to get into a position to use this EMP. But MCD, like, could just come in and be the saving grace of Boston again with that Transcendence. Oh,
beautiful hack on Pelican. That was insane. Victoria was on the high ground, just waiting for the hack onto Pelican so he couldn't use that EMP on the rest of the Boston Uprising as they made their engagement. What a heads-up play from Victoria. The Houston Outlaws, though, Rose, they only used that one ultimate. What do you really expect them to use here? Is Merrick going to set up for another pulse bomb?
I think so. You have to. Like, the longer that you hold on to the pulse bomb, it means that you're not finding more value building up another one. And like when Tracer is just kind of looking towards getting like these big picks with the pulse, you want to have that online as often as possible. So Merrick definitely going to try to open it up with that first before they go into larger value ultimates like the EMP. Unless Houston feel like they're running out of time, in which case, yeah, use the EMP right away.
Another stick onto Doge. Again, ejected from that mech. He's got the self-destruct to get the remake. Does he go down? No, he's actually scurried away to Creative. But the Boston Uprising control the high ground is paramount to their success currently, as the Houston Outlaws kind of have to funnel under them. Payload's still being moved, mind you, so the Boston Uprising are going to have to do something soon. Although it's in a good spot for Punk to kind of chill on the high ground. However, Pelican's just kind of waiting for him in the depths of the waters down here with the EMP available. Doge's mech goes down once again. Houston Outlaws use that Transcendence. Another Transcendence, this time on the side of the Boston Uprising as they counter that EMP. A return EMP from Victoria is good. 1 minute and 30 seconds remains now for the Houston Outlaws. That was just a whole bunch of mind games there between the Sombras and the Zens. And Boston Uprising, their battle line comes out on top.
Yeah, they had the battle of the wits right there. I feel like Pelican should have seen that MCD and popped the Transcendence. But honestly, so like Transcendence and then EMP and Transcendence, they all went through at once. So I think it was very difficult to like tell whose team was using what in that scenario. But the fact that Lastro got punished early and like had to use the Transcendence. Oh, okay. Well,
Valentine got ejected to a different dimension with that right click. MCD with the nano. You take those. Almost one-shot the enemy Tracer there and merits. Nice anti-nade from Crimso. Can Outlaws follow this up? What is MCD doing? He's in the backline. This positioning is insane from him right now. Him and Punk just dominate Houston Outlaws. He's even just actually cyberbullying Creative with the kicks. Rose, there's 30 seconds to go, and Creative's the only one with an ultimate on Outlaw's side.
Look at this. I feel like Houston's feeling the panic a little bit. Doge is coming back on the Winston. The Diva really just not working for the team right now. There's too much ult charge going over to Boston from just the hacks and just not really finding the value with the defense matrix. Pelican's in the back, really trying to get a quick hack, but it's too late. MCD's gotten a pick already.
Yeah, Creative down is a nice hack on Crimso, but I think that's about done. Recall from Merritt. He's still got Pulse. Creative still has with the ultimate, but yeah, he's not going to be able to use it. Boom, there you go. Pelican touches one more time to force OT, but that's going to tick down pretty quickly, and without a Translocator, there's no hope for Pelican and the rest of Outlaws, who do get held just before that second point.
Score. Still winnable. Still winnable for Houston on these side swaps. I think that, you know, where Houston feels like they're struggling the most is, you know, how do they deal with Valentine and Victoria as this dominant DPS force for Boston? Whether it's the Tracer or the Sombra or the combination of the two going after the backline, focusing down Doge, they're always working in tandem to focus down a target. And it's really tough when you also have the backup from you know, Crimso's antis or just MCD pumping out ridiculous damage. It's just all working together. Like this feels like Boston finding themselves in a meta finally.
Yeah, oh my god. I can't believe Rose on that point. Punk has like a 50+% win rate when he's in, and then when he's out, they have like a 13% win rate. Like, I think that stat kind of, right now, says it all. Like, Boston Uprising with a very, very, not a strong start. Obviously, they lost the control, but a good first hold on Eichenwalde, second point hold on Route 66.
And that's so tough to do.
So far.
You know that's tough to do. You know, historically, Route 66's second point on defense is one of the hardest to hold. It's another one of those maps where you see first or you see third, and that's just kind of how it goes. And so I think it's really impressive, and you've got to give mad props to Boston for getting a hold on second. That's incredibly difficult to do.
Well, how about this swap though, Rose? Lastro onto the brick.
Oh, and look at this too. Punk's playing Diva.
Yeah, one of his better heroes for sure.
Signature for sure.
But yeah, he definitely has two signature heroes now: the Diva and the Jungle Queen.
Wow. Well, the first one didn't exist.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. His new second signature hero. Yeah. That was rather rough from Doge there. Unfortunate. How are the Outlaws going to set up after this, Rose?
They're going to have to do it very carefully. You go first. Very dangerous. And it's going to be. You have to wait for Doge to come back. You got to make sure that you're posturing on top of Big Girls. You can't give away too much space to Boston. But, I mean, as soon as Doge jumps in, like, it's almost an insta-hack.
Yeah, it is pretty rough. And you saw the reaction times there from Punk just jumping straight on top of MCD to protect him, body blocking the Winston, and using the Matrix too to block any shots. They take down Pelican. Payload not moving right now, but the Boston Uprising have numbers and have positioning. Another hack onto Doge. Another hack onto Doge. Permanently hacked. Dude's got a rootkit in his system. Houston Outlaws just crumbling on first, and the Boston Uprising, Rose, didn't need to use any ultimates here, and if they get another pick, like Creative is now dead, Boston Uprising might be able to take high ground right now, away from the Outlaws. Look, that's exactly what Punk's doing.
I mean, look at that. You can even see where Pelican threw the translocator. Even if he tries to get away, that's still some shots that you might be able to take him out with. I mean, Punk also has the Diva Bomb available. Is there a way that he can use this a little bit more offensively? We haven't seen that too much in Divas as of late, whether it's been in Overwatch 2 or the kind of like the last few seasons of Overwatch 1. It's really been about just kind of re-meching and getting back in to the mech as quickly as possible.
This pulse bomb from Valentine, still good. Force creative onto low ground, which is nice. An EMP is available for the Houston Outlaws, and with MCD using the Transcendent, the Outlaws might signal this is time to go, but Doge's already dead. The EMP rings out. The Boston Uprising, 3 people are hacked, but no one is dead. A nano boost onto MCD to keep them alive in the fight as the Houston Outlaws are still like forced all the way back. They're just scared of MCD. He's just bumped their chest. Like, Houston Outlaws end up using their rally, so now they have no support ultimates. Pretty clean slate across the board, no ults online, but Boston Uprising, ever so slowly, Rose, they're gaining space and push on that payload.
Yeah, they haven't really lost anybody either that hasn't been able to come back. Doge is down again!
All right, they do trade, though, with MCD. Punk gets slept, gets woken up instantly, and Creative just the main focus of the Boston Uprising right now. Punk's pretty low, just permanently targeted by Pelican right now, but he stays alive, 50 HP, somehow, some way. The Boston Uprising do end up losing Crimso, so a big reset, but with 3 minutes to go, I mean, come on, you're pretty happy with the amount of push you got on the payload there.
You're happy with that, knowing as well that Victoria almost has EMP. Valentine's pulse bombs have been, you know, not maybe the flashiest as of late, but they've been effective. Definitely funneling the Houston Outlaws into a position where like Victoria might have easier access, or Punk can go just kind of mow somebody down. So you're going to see Valentine and Victoria once again trying to get this pincer set up to end it here. Boston Uprising want to focus on this EMP and get the map win here.
There it is. EMP hits. Oh, and it hits the back. That's unfortunate. Boston Uprising do end up losing both supports. Quick reset though, but a minute burned off the clock and no other ultimates used. Good for the Outlaws. Might have rally for this next fight, depending on how much healing and damage Lastro can get out. But now they have to contend with victorious EMP. Still extremely close. Very much reminiscent of what Eichenwalde was on the first point.
Yeah, it's still very, very close. I mean, Houston actually put up such a good fight on that defense, too, where they actually looked like they might have been able to win the map. You know, they had given away 2 ticks to Boston, but they were able to regroup and come back for the defense, and it seems like they're kind of doing something similar here. But, yeah, you got to watch out for this.
EMP hits, and it hits, oh, nobody. That's the first mem for this split. Crimzo Merit end up trading. Doge with the Primal Rage takes care of MCD. Houston Outlaws holding onto this payload for dear life. Again, very reminiscent of Eichenwalde. With a minute and 30 seconds to go, Boston Uprising still have a say in this fight, or this map, I should say. And with those ultimates, you'd expect them to kind of run over the Outlaws. It's going to be all up to Lastro now, Rose, trying to get that rally online and just staying alive through all this damage. He's got to be careful of Valentine.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful of Valentine. And Victoria too, though, right? What if you get hacked? Then Boston know, you know, kind of what's going on with the ult percentage. Maybe you just get taken out immediately, so there's no Inspire healing on the board. And when Boston also have, a Transcendence, that's something that can be used super aggressively.
Very aggressive pulse bomb there from Valentine. Was expecting someone to be hugging the corner there. All right, there's the rally and no pulse bomb to worry about. Health bar's looking good for the Outlaws as the time is ticking down. 30 seconds to go as MCD pops that Transcendence. It's the time for Boston Uprising to try and run over the Outlaws, but Outlaws still standing strong. Maybe they get the nano on time. It's up to Creative to try and heal the rest of his team. Punk does end up getting hacked, and a massive nade from Creative keeps this competitive. Punk sends in the self-destruct, trying to shoot people with the pew-pew gun, but doesn't get any damage done, but gets the remake in time. Overtime is approaching Rose, and Pelican's got the EMP. Merit's got the pulse. The Outlaws want to stand tall and hold this payload. The blue box of victory looming closer for the Uprising. It's EMP versus EMP. Who Sombra can get it off better? A 3-man for the Outlaws, but the nano comes on just in time as Doge stays alive. A pulse bomb from Merit gets eaten by Punk as the Boston Uprising is still somehow so healthy. Merit ends up going down as Punk is standing tall. There is no way the Outlaws can get another support ultimate on time, so it's more of a neutral fight. The Uprising, they got a nano, they apply it to MCD, and as overtime is ticking down, the Boston Uprising push that payload in and sit themselves on match points in the series. A 10th place team currently taking it to the Outlaws. Outlaws need to clench this out.
They do.
One more map and Boston take them down.
Wow. I mean, I feel like when you look at the predictions for this match, nobody had this predicted as a Boston win except for Danny. And I know we're still a map or 2 away, but yeah, this is looking so good for Boston right now. Their DPS line looks unstoppable, Jaws.
Yeah, Valentine's Day might be coming a little bit early for the Boston Uprising. They're looking good. We're going to jump to a break. This is the Houston Outlaws, their last chance to turn the series around. We'll see how they do after this. welcome back. Summer Showdown, it has ended, but you can still get the Happy Genji skin, and he's still bringing the summer vibes. Yeah, you can grab it for just 200 League tokens. Don't miss out on your chance to slice and dice in style. Looks pretty good, and they added another little fish Easter egg. I'm always a fan. Little fish in the baggie on his little belt there.
That's you!
Sure,
no, it's you, the goldfish!
It could be me, that's true. Did you know there's another Jaws Easter egg, which they definitely added because of me? On the end of Ash's gun on a poolside skin, there's a little shark dangle thing.
Oh, yeah.
Very epic.
That's
definitely
true.
Because of me, not because, you know.
Yeah, Blizzard World
yeah,
too.
definitely.
You're hanging upside down.
That's true, that's true. Not because the shark are very recognizable creatures.
No, it's because of you.
Couldn't be.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's go back into the game. Outlaws and the Boston Uprising. Boston are currently 2-0 up right now. One of the big factors for the Boston Uprising, Valentine looking pretty crazy, but another guy that's looking pretty crazy, especially on that last map, Rose, was MCD. This dude on the flank, 24/7 on that Zen, getting nanoed off cooldown by Crimso. He led the server in final blows in 11 in that last map.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you could even just see the impact MCD was having, whether it was just showing up in the kill feed or even just the assists that MCD was getting with the Orbs of Harmony and the Discord orbs. It's pretty intense, like how much MCD has really been impacting this game with just everything across the board. That's just one stat card to show what's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, the damage looked pretty good. What, 7.5k, healing 8.1. And the closer those numbers are, like, that's how much you know your Zen is, like, impacting on the damage front. If the damage is, like, creeping up towards the healing, yeah, it's looking pretty spicy right now. Boston Uprising, like, damn, they come out the gates swinging. Danny clearly knowing something that the rest of us don't, maybe? Not sure. Desk in shambles. Day one, week one. Feels good. Feels good.
Yeah.
I can only rip them because I'm not on the desk and I don't have to do preds, so.
That's true. That's true. No, that's why I'm sitting pretty over here too. I don't have to predict this. Not my job.
All right. Outlaws are still keeping Doji in rows. So we're not seeing Dante on the Doomfist, which is, I would say, a little bit strange, maybe. We're going into Colosseo, and when Doomfist was played a ton more, like looking at the earlier stages in the season, it was very much Outlaws, although they didn't have Doge on the roster at that point. It was very much Outlaws only playing the Doomfist with Dante. So I'm a little bit shocked to see Doge in. Let's see if he goes towards like a main tank or an off tank. We saw him a little bit on D.Va. Maybe the Ryan comes back. Another good hero on Colosseo.
I think so. I mean, I think that like we could see more Junker Queen. Like that seems to be the flavor of the day for the Boston Uprising. But who knows what Houston's going to run out with. We saw the D.Va. Maybe we see some Winston here. I almost would have expected to see some Doomfist. But, you know, Doge can play that too. So maybe that is going to be something that Houston want to rely on.
Only the truest questions are answered in the chat right there. What do you prefer, actually? Punk just said mustard or ketchup.
Oh, ketchup.
Oh.
Oh, come on now. Oh,
and
I think
the fallout begins.
Listen.
I'm a mustard man.
No, you're not. No,
I'm a mustard
why?
man.
Ew.
Well, American mustard's pretty good. Ever tried English mustard? Coleman's English mustard?
Well, I don't like yellow mustard.
Spicy.
Like yellow mustard's just like it's nothing special.
You're a Dijon kind of person?
Yes. Okay, Dijon is okay.
Dijon.
But like I need the clarifier there, not just mustard. Like yellow mustard's a no.
Okay. English yellow mustard is very different from American yellow mustard, I will say. Maybe I'll bring some to you when I visit the UK.
Okay, there we go.
It's a little on the hot side, but that's never a bad thing. All right, Doge is back onto the... yeah, friendship salvage, thank God. Doge is back onto the main tank, playing the Winston, and that's actually Punk on the Doomfist, so no Junker Queen. Although Junker Queen does get poked down quite easily in this long stretch, so I suppose you want to be a little bit careful. Mobility definitely helps.
The mobility is good, but I mean, Doge just feels like the focus fire of Boston. Whether it's the hack from Victoria or, you know, MCD just kind of perma doing something. Oh, Lastro, please be careful.
That was almost Zen on Zen violence. They both almost killed each other, which would have been a bit ridiculous.
That would have been kind of funny in the kill feed, not gonna lie. Hey, we got our first pick on Colosseo, and it would have taken a minute.
Yep, we're at 1:30, no picks. Okay. Nice nade. Nano boost onto Punk.
Oh!
Kills, maybe? Yep, Doja's been the target once again. Houston Outlaws losing their tank. Oh, that was a nice beat shot there by Punk. Killing Pelican in one shot almost. Alrighty, Boston Uprising, just a swift team kill. Yeah, Doja's, we got the stat during the break, Rose, but Doge right now on the Winston, you can see how much focus fire the Boston Uprising are putting into him right now. He's at 7.5 deaths per 10 currently. Like, the Boston Uprising only looking at Doge right now, and every bit of damage is flying towards him to try and shut the rest of the Outlaws down.
Look, he's switched over to the D.Va again. So maybe hoping that he'll be able to use the defense matrix against, you know, Punk diving in with the Doomfist. It's that classic counter. But MCD has the Transcendence, and that's why, like, this might not work.
Oh, EMP hits, but the nade follow-up there from Creative was really nice. Punk got hacked and instantly killed. There was nothing he really could do to that. That Transcendence did not save him. So nice EMP work there from Pelican. Trying to get this manual hack on Valentine. There we go. You can hack in stealth now. Worth remembering.
It's true. That is true. I mean, there's not really much that can happen here except for a standstill. Doge is down. Lastro's dead. No Transcendence on the board.
What a sleep onto Punk. Punk's still fighting. He is naded. He is discorded. He is hacked. You die pretty fast. Damage increase from hack. Damage from the Sombra. Discord on top of that. Yeah.
Just looking at how Punk wants to come back into this one. We're just sitting on the payload right now.
Dude, Creative hitting some mean sleeps currently. Carrying the Outlaws from the back line, you love to see it. Shout out to Sports. Pole spot from Valentine, goes wide. Creative still trying to jostle with it. Does return to the rest of his team. Another pulse bomb from Merit. This time goes Punk. Actually just punched through the pulse bomb, still took the damage. Didn't end up dying as he went up into his ults. EMP hits 3. But Lastro, as soon as he comes out of that hack, does hit that Transcendence. Punk in some trouble. He is nanoed, but he did get antied, so couldn't play up to the rest of the Outlaws who have taken control of that bot and are moving on forward. Boston Uprising do have the lead in terms of... Oh! Wow. Okay, nice nano. These nanos from both sides have been quite exceptional. Quite a scrappy fight too, this is turning out to be, as NTD uses his Transcendence too. Either team refusing to let that payload go around that first corner, Rose.
Wow, I mean, I thought...
Another EMP. Does this fight end?
No, I don't even think it ends here. There's so many trades happening across the board. Okay, maybe Valentine did, okay.
All right. The fight ended. Fight concluded. Potentially the longest fight in Overwatch League history there. That was a nice little duel from Valentine. Mero is sat on top of a hacked mini health pack, so those come up like instantly. I'm not sure how much HPS that is, but it is a lot, I will tell you. So nice little duel won by Valentine. Still though, Boston Uprising, Rose, they're still in the lead, and with 5 minutes gone already, they're in good stride.
Punk is gonna get hacked here, but immediately use the Meteor Strike to get out. Right on top of Creative. That's a swish.
Yeah, super focus on Creative. You saw Valentine and Victoria using flank routes to get on top of the back line of the Outlaws, Rose. Now it's only Valentine with that pulse bomb. The Houston Outlaws still trying to gain some space, but they end up losing Lastra on top of that. Merit tries to triple blink into the back, looking for the pulse, ends up recalling at like 9 HP. It's now Boston moving on forward. EMP, nano boost, and pulse available.
I don't know if they need it now. I mean, Pelican's gonna get taken out here by MCD. Gonna keep building up charge to that Transcendence, and when you can just, you know, you're buying yourself some time to get that online for the EMP. Yeah, Boston just want to push this in with the EMP, get the checkpoint.
This EMP is a 5-man 2, and Valentine instantly killing off Pelican. Nice little triple punch from Punk, but another nano Zenyatta. You love to see it, but Butt Scratch mode, Rose, has already been initiated from the Boston Uprising. I mean, they've lost the fight, but you take that any day of the week. Getting that checkpoint unlocked is pretty large.
It's huge, and especially when you've been able to buy so much time off the clock with that 2-minute fight earlier, where you're sitting at 3.5 minutes remaining. Boston have continuously just been playing to keep the lead in terms of meterage. They can just keep doing that. Give up some space to Houston, knowing that they have ultimates online, and yeah.
How is Punk alive? I'm
Nano?
sorry. How is he alive?
Nano.
He got posed, he got hacked, he got discorded, then hit with the nano. Yeah, what?
It's all Crimso.
The man just doesn't die. How is he alive? He's still up. He's still chilling. And MCD still killing. Merit's dead. 3 minutes to go for the Boston Uprising. An unbelievable amount of backline support to help Punk stay in the fight. Another hack. He's going to shrug it off. Meteor Strike. A Chad Meteor Strike right into the front line with 35 HP. No, he's actually just going to go for the health pack. Alrighty.
Okay. I don't know Punk's uptime right now, but yeah.
A lot.
Look, yeah, just a lot. Yeah, Valentine, let's go again here. Pulse bomb at the ready. Knees weak. Poor Houston Outlaws might need some spaghetti. Look, there's an EMP
They're going to need maybe a consolation meal after this one.
Yeah.
Just not being able to take down Punk is so... It's really bad. Like, that's been their main focus. EMP from Victoria. He's lining this one up. Boom. Hits it. Nice reactive nano, though, from Creative. Keeps Lastro alive, plus refills his health bar rack after being stripped away. Those shields depleting, of course, after you get hit with the EMP. A stick. Oh, straight on top of Valentine. What a sleep from Creative. Turns that pulse bomb into a trade. Creative kind of going crazy with these sleeps right now, but the Houston Outlaws, they are starting to wake up. The Boston Uprising have got a nano in their back pockets, and a couple of meters are being gained here by Merit. They've also got that EMP on Lion Rose, but there's 1 minute and 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think that the Houston are actually in a great spot right now. If they can use this, MCD doesn't have the Transcendence online yet.
Nice EMP,
Follow
but
up?
still focused down. Discord Orb on top of it, but the Nano Boost still providing a ton of defensive countermeasures. Speaking of defensive countermeasures, there's another one. Transcendence from MCD. Another hack onto Punk. Again, focused. Can he survive? Yes, he can. Of course he can. There's no killing this guy. The backline for the Boston Uprising right now, just adamantium. Unreal stuff, and they're still winning these fights. Valentine takes down Doja's mech and finishes him off. Rose, there's 60 seconds to go, and the Boston Uprising looking to close this one out.
They're walking back over to the checkpoint. They're stealing the push bot away from Houston. Punk has a Meteor Strike. Victoria has another EMP. There's no answer online for Houston right now. And that might just spell disaster. Boston are 1 fight away from winning against the Houston Outlaws.
All right, nice stick. Little revenge there from Merit. He's going to escort that payload, and Punk ends up going down. Okay, Rose.
Maybe another fight.
That EMP is now off the board. Houston Outlaws need to now win a couple of preceding fights to keep themselves in the series.
Yeah, like let's do this. I mean, this is a huge fight we've got in our hands. Because Boston, I mean, yeah, they're coming back with the Diva now. They're trying to come back pretty quickly, but they know that their backs are against the wall when Houston could win this out with the EMP that's coming along lane for them. Boston's got to get a pick here. Valentine's looking for it.
Pelican needs hit a fat EMP, but Merit's already dead. Very little follow-up now for the Outlaws. Doge gets antied, demeched. Pulseborn comes out from Valentine, but it might not even be needed. The EMP is still being sat on by Pelican. MCD's there, but he's still standing up. Crimso hacked, unable to use Nano, but it fades away in 1 and a bit seconds. Overtime is here. Outlaws aren't. Overtime gone. Boston Uprising with the 3-1. Houston Outlaws going down. Danny looking mighty clean on the desk. Only one to predict the Boston Uprising. They take a dub. Outlaws not looking great in that match. Doge comes in and gets focused down. Boston Uprising's target priority looked so good this series.
It looked amazing. I mean, Punk was unstoppable. There were so many bright moments from Boston. And this is a team, remember, that just narrowly missed qualifying for the Summer Showdown. They were 1 match win away. and they could have stolen that spot from Vancouver. So you know they're hungry coming back into this next one where they want to make sure that they've solidified a spot in the play-ins, and they're looking strong. The win against Houston, of all teams, Jaws. That's a tough opponent.
It is. Yeah, they're currently sitting at 4th, right?
Yeah.
Punk in equals win. Boston Uprising, they do
win.
take Houston Outlaws 3-1. Let's have a look at player of the match. I said it on Route 66, but Valentine's Day came early for Uprising. It's going to be Valentine. His post bombs, especially to start this series off, Rose. Wow. Eichenwalde, he was like the solo person in that map that just took over the entire game and it flipped this whole series on its head on Eichenwalde. Like, double kill in support. Oh, here's the clip. Yeah. Boom. And goodbye, Zenyatta. Yeah, it's been a treat, honestly. Tracer play is always really fun to watch, and when you can perform like this consistently throughout the series, I mean, your team's going to do well. Tracer's looking like one of the main heroes currently in this meta, maybe a bit more of a foundation for Boston Uprising. What they really need, Rose, right now, because they are sitting in 10th place, and they need to be consistent. They need to be a little bit more than that to make it to play-ins. So, starting off strong.
Yeah, a lot of those final blows on that stack guard too were just kind of constantly being in the back line of Houston. Like, it's tough because I really feel like that does force Houston's hand a lot. When you're playing against a Tracer that is as proficient as Valentine, you do have to split your focus. Are you going to be helping the front line? Or are you going to be peeling for your back line? And yeah, poor Valentine made that really difficult for Houston to figure out where they wanted to put their target focus. And that distraction was enough for Boston to kind of keep chipping away at the front line, one player after another.
I hope Danny has the biggest smug grin on his face right now. Only person on the desk, and even with the pick'ems too, that picked the Boston Uprising over the Houston Outlaws, and he is right. We'll have to wait and see how big that grin is on his cheeky mug after this break. We'll see in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League, and by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. I'm here joined now by MCD from Boston Uprising. MCD, congratulations on the win. And with that being said, let's just jump right in to the interview. I mean, you guys had a great match against Houston Outlaws. But before that, you guys, for the Summer Showdown tournament, Boston Uprising unfortunately weren't able to make it into the tournament. So you guys had a bit of a longer break. So during that break, like, how did you spend that time? And also, like, what did you guys work on during that time? 자, 일단 오늘 승리 너무나도 축하드리면서 오늘 첫 질문은 우리 또 MCD 선수에게 드리고 싶은 거는 보스턴 팀이 아쉽게도 이번에 서머 쇼다운에서는 아쉽게 좀 탈락을 해서 토너먼트에서는 보지 못했지만은 그렇기 때문에 이번 어떻게 보면 휴식 기간이 좀 더 길었잖아요. 이 긴 휴식 기간을 좀 어떻게 팀적 플레이를 향상시키기 위해서 좀 어떻게 쓰셨나요?
우선 이번 휴가 기간이 좀 길었던 것도 사실인데 아무래도 저희가 스테이지 1, 2, 3 좀 팀원들이나 이제 스텝진들이 나가면서 저희 보스턴 팀 자체 분위기가 뭐 사실 좋을 수는 없었다고 생각을 해요. 그래서 아무래도 저희 팀원들끼리 좀 불화 없이 저희끼리 하고 싶은 것들 얘기 잘해가면서 좀 저희끼리 으쌰으쌰 해보자 라는 분위기를 만들려고 좀 많이 힘을 썼던 것 같아요. 물론 이제 개인 연습을 했던 것도 사실이지만 이제 전체적인 팀 분위기나 팀 플레이에 좀 더 포커싱을 두고 이제 같이 소통하면서 했던 것 같습니다.
All right. So first of all, of course, we've each and every one of our players spent time practicing to improve our personal performance. But not only that, as you guys all know, throughout the whole season, stage 1, 2, and 3, Boston Uprising, our team, had some players leaving and coming in. So our team whole, I guess the vibe wasn't at its peak, or it wasn't that good. So during this long break that we had, we really wanted to focus on the team aspect. We wanted to not only improve our team play, but team communication and just a general team vibe. We wanted to bring that up, so that was what we focused on. And I think, like you said, I think that team vibe and teamwork really showed off today, because after losing map 1 to Houston Outlaws, you guys just came back right up and then you guys dominated the Houston Outlaws today. So what changes did you guys make after losing map 1 to Houston Outlaws? 자, 방금 말하셨던 이런 팀업, 팀워크를 이제 향상시키기 위해서 좀 노력을 하셨다고 말씀을 하셨는데, 그게 오늘 경기에서 굉장히 많이 보여줬다고 저는 생각을 합니다. 이번 휴스턴과의 경기에서 1세트를 지고 난 후에 보스의 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여주면서 승리를 거두시게 되셨는데, 1세트를 지고 난 후, 패배를 한 후 좀 어떤 조정이 팀적으로 있었나요?
아무래도 1세트 끝나고 난 이후에는 저희가 1세트 때 느꼈던 저희의 문제점들에 대해서 일단 먼저 선수들끼리 얘기하고, 또 감독님도 또 피드백 해주셨고, 일단 가장 크게 얘기가 나왔던 건 이제 저희가 아무래도 오랜만에 쉬고 와서 오랜만에 하는 경기다 보니까 좀 정신들도 약간 못 차리고 좀 뭔가 저희가 하나가 안 되는 부분들이 좀 많았던 것 같아요. 그래서 그 부분들에 대해서 다시 짚어보고 이제 저희가 실수했던 부분 다시 챙겨보면서 좀 그 부분에 포커싱을 뒀던 것 같아요.
All right. So, I think after losing map 1, what we sort of amongst ourselves, we talked about the problems that we saw from our individual plays. Not only that, what we thought was going wrong in the map 1 that we lost. So we also, of course, got some feedback from not only our coaches but our coaching staff. And not only that, I think another big part is the fact that we came back from a very long break. So I think our mentality was still a little rusty. So getting back into that shape, getting back into the, I guess, game mentality was a big thing for us too. So I think all in all, we wanted to really focus on our mistakes and to not repeat those mistakes going forward. And I think that came big for our win today. All right, last but not least, I wanted to also talk about MCD. I think you today were really, really good, I think, on that Zenyatta. And talking about Zenyatta, I wanted to ask you, because unlike Houston Outlaws, where they were swapping out support characters, but Boston Uprising, or you, stayed on that Zenyatta the whole match, throughout the whole match, sorry. Was there a reason to that? Do you believe Zenyatta is sort of the best flex support that is to be played for this current meta? 자, 마지막 질문은 MCD 선수가 오늘 이제 휴스턴에 있는 힐러 분들과는 좀 다르게 MCD 선수는 오늘 계속 젠야타로 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여주셨는데, 이제 젠야타 플레이어로서 어떻게 보면 이번 현 메타에서 젠야타가 좀 많이 기용이 될 것 같으신지, 그리고 또 개인적으로 좀 젠야타가 이번 현 메타에서 좀 제일 최고로 좋은 어떻게 보면은 픽이라고 좀 생각을 하시나요?
어느 정도는 저는 제나타가 좀 좋은 픽이라고 생각을 하고요. 물론 이제 뭐 좁은 맵이나 뭐 쟁탈 같은 경우는 조금 더 안 쓸 수 있는 맵이 있겠지만 그리고 또 팀마다도 또 다를 거라고 생각을 해요. 뭐 루시오를 좋아하는 팀도 있고 뭐 제나타를 좋아하는 팀도 있을 거라고 생각은 하지만 저희 팀은 제나타 하나를 써서 시너지를 내는 것이 가장 저희 팀에 맞고 또 저희 플레이에 맞다고 생각해 들어서 제나타를 사용하고 있고 또 제나타를 사용하려면 뭐 팀적인 무빙이나 팀적인 그런 플레이들이 좀 많이 중요하다고 생각을 해요. 그래서 그런 부분들이 잘 융합된다면 좀 제나타로도 좋은 성능을 낼 수 있을 거라고 생각하고 있습니다.
Alright. To a certain degree, I do agree that Zen is sort of a really nice pick for this current meta. It is, of course, map dependent. There are going to be maps that you just cannot play Zenyatta, and also it's also sort of team dependent as well. Some teams would like to use Lucio other than Zen, but for us, Boston Uprising, the Zen Ana double flex support is, I think, currently the best look for us. We like that synergy the Zen and Ana brings, and I think it's sort of the best form that we have. So. It also so I think for Zenyatta and Ana flex support duo, it really focuses on the team play, so we consider that as like an important thing that's going for us. So it is team dependent and also map dependent as well. One last thing before I let you go, MCD. I think another interesting thing that I saw today for Boston Uprising was that you guys use Junker Queen quite often. What was the reason for that? 자, 마지막으로 보내시기 전에 이제 당연히 탱커 유저는 아니시지만 오늘 보스턴이 또 정커 퀸을 계속 좀 어떻게 보면은 많이라고 해야 되나요? 아무튼 좀 계속 좀 어떻게 보면 계속 기용을 하셨는데 이거에 대한 좀 특별한 이유가 있을까요?
사실 이게 어제 한번 스크림 마지막 타임 때 해보다가 이거 좋은 거 같다 해서 좀 기용을 해보게 된 건데 아무래도 이제 정거킨의 스킬 샤웃 같은 경우가 또 팀을 위해서 또 쓸 수 있고 또 이제 뭐 제나타를 살리기에 저희가 좀 좋다, 좀 유용하다 라고 판단을 해서 사용을 해보게 됐는데 아직은 좀 더 많은 테스트가 필요하겠지만 아무래도 저희가 펑크 선수도 퀸을 잘 다루고 해서 저희 플레이와도 잘 맞는 것 같아서 한번 기용을 해봤는데 그게 잘 먹혔던 것 같습니다.
Alright, so last night in scrims,